Hello again, my friends. And the news at 12. Paul Cook is the new Ipswich Town manager. That is correct. Breaking news today. Ipswich Town have appointed Paul Cook as their club's 18th manager in its history. There's not 18 managers. He's signing a contract until the summer of 2023. Let me know what you feel about that. And for those asking, yes, I do sit in this chair and just wait to go live. That is my day job. I am joined by two wonderful people. First and foremost, the Cruncher. Crunch, he's here.
Can't stay long. Work to do, but look, what does Lee O'Neill know? Who's
He doesn't know nothing.
What script was he? Look, he's just a mouthpiece. Look, I'm delighted. I know he wasn't probably your pick, Martin, but he's got a good record. 51% win record. Let's hit the ground running, and obviously he'll be at the game tonight. I would have thought in the stands. And then, Saturday, away we go.
Thoroughly exciting, first and foremost, because no manager takes the job without certainties being made behind the scenes that us fans currently won't be privy to. That's my first takeaway from that. A manager, particularly of the standing Paul Cook has. And I was just doing a recording with Freddie from Pompey News Now. And I was going to speak to the Wigan fan podcast, Barry. Hopefully he may join us. And I was starting to be brought around. Freddie was telling me all these different things about round pegs in round holes, recruitment with a plan. And he said one thing that really sort of stuck out to me. I really enjoyed watching Portsmouth under Paul Cook. I never thought we'd get beat. We just were a fantastic side. And after what we sat through, Crunch, that's like music to the ears.
It's funny you should say that, because there's a guy I work with and he's a Pompey fan, and his brother didn't rate Paul Cook. He said he was negative. So look, Martin, football's a game of opinions. It's a game of opinions, but the club's been on its arse, hasn't it? Probably since Mick left. But even before Mick left, we were on the decline. So hopefully now he can come in. I think there's no real pressure. I don't think it's a win-win situation this season for him. He'll have 16 games from Saturday. If he gets in the playoffs and gets us up, fair enough. And if he doesn't, he can just say, they weren't my players anyway.
Let's bring Steve in. Steve, Paul Cook is the new town manager. What are your first initial thoughts?
Look at that hair.
Look at that hair. Can you tell I've just brushed it? It's being dragged through a hedge. I'm really happy with that. I'll do it. There you go. I'll hold the phone instead. Yeah, that was good. I'm quite happy with that. I think it's good. What you were saying, Crunch, basically, he can't really lose. It's similar to when Lambert came in after Hurst, isn't it? Because if Lambert was to save us, then brilliant. If not, he could say these weren't my players. But yeah, I think he can't lose. So decent appointment. Yeah,
I think it is. And I know I've said not for me, but the more I listened to Freddie, I was being brought around. And what he said was when Paul Cook came in, Portsmouth had a number of players out of contract. It was a fresh slate, and Paul Cook relished it. And I was just thinking, hang on, that sounds like Ipswich right now. We've got 15 players out of contract in the summer crunch. We're on the verge of maybe a momentum push into the playoffs. Who knows? This is like history repeating itself for him.
You know what this means? You're going to have to be out in the garden tonight after the game when we've hit the £150 target, which we are, and the poster has to go tonight.
Yeah, well, if we hit the target, and it goes. Absolutely. Tom, go on.
Yeah, it is. It's a clean slate. It's an ideal opportunity for a new manager to come in. He can have a good look at what he's got now. It'd be interesting to see, Martin, what he does with the loan players, because he's got 6 at the club. Will he send some of them back? Can they do that? Can they return to their clubs early? I don't know, but I think tonight, hopefully we'll have a performance, because they'll want to be out to impress their new manager and be the first name on the team sheet on Saturday when they play Gillingham away.
Yeah, this is absolutely
for everyone now, isn't it? People are Lancaster playing for their futures.
Everyone's playing for their future, regardless of which league it's going to be in. And obviously, as Luke Humes just said, step 1 done. You know what step 2 is, don't you? It's takeover. Step 3 is promotion. Step 4 is promotion again. Step 5 is beating Man City at the Emptyhead. I'm dreaming.
We'll take it one step at a time.
You know me, I can't do that. Aidan Pearson, new manager, new owner. Let's bring Leander in. I've got a feeling, Leander, are you going to bring us down or are you going to bring us up?
No, it's happened, isn't it? Let's get him in as quick as possible, and listen to what Crunch was saying. We just give him a chance and see what he does. Looking back since all the Marcus Evans appointments until we got Hurst, they were all sort of high profile, weren't they? Like, really sort of, Keane was brought in probably as much for the Marcus Evans brand as anything else, because Keane drew a lot of attention. And, and we've had managers like that. Jewel was perhaps similar. And then with Hurst, we went completely the other way. But I think maybe with Cook, on reflection, maybe are we somewhere in the middle? We're not right at the lower end, and he's done well in the Championship. So maybe he's the right fit. I mean, you just never really know until he gets a go. I mean, I was sort of anti the Cowleys. I don't know why I was, but it just didn't seem right to me. And I know, like Matt and Crunch and that were. But when you look at who was available in the, who was there to be sort of we could get, there wasn't really much else, was there? And that's not being negative.
He was number one back in the summer league. I always said Paul Cook, but I always thought he'd go to a Championship club, and you think it's a real feather in our cap when he's turned down Cardiff and he's turned down Sheffield Wednesday. So there must be some sort of long-term plan here. It must be for him to come here. I know they only offered him 6-month contract at them clubs, but there must be something. It's got to be the takeover. The takeover's got to be. I think that's imminent as well, to be honest.
I'd agree
anyway,
with it.
I've got to do some
All right,
work.
Crunch. Yeah,
see you, mate.
No worries. Lee, he's right though, isn't he? He's right though, isn't he? It's got to be in. It's got to be close.
It's got to be. Yeah, I think that you would look at it and think that it is, wouldn't you? That maybe Cook's been holding on because he's been quite quiet with things, isn't he, as well? So, and if what all the reports are, listening to the pods with everybody that's been on and that you've had on, that's been fantastic insight. This has been bubbling on for a lot longer than we think, isn't it? So has Cook been sort of hanging around for longer? But it's a chance for him, isn't it? Because he's got the chance to build the club, and I think it was the same with Lambert to a point, wasn't it? Where Lambert was always firefighting jobs, and he's got this job now where he was trying to take a team from lower leagues and build it up over a period of time. And it's not worked out, and I think that's the same opportunity for Cook. If the takeover is there, then it's exciting times. He's going to have that opportunity, isn't he, to take a big club for League One, who has been a Premier League club, and take them not just one step but 2 steps. So it's got to be an incentive for him. So he must be buzzing. But I mean, the pressure on him with a takeover. There's going to be more pressure if there's money available. I mean, look at someone like Frank Lampard and things like that. When you've got money, there's even more pressure, isn't there? Because they're your players. You get 2 transfer windows and things like that. I just hope that we give him the time that he needs and the backing. Because I wouldn't have thought he would be turning down Championship clubs if Marcus Evans would be funding it, because he's not going to get anything, is he?
No, absolutely. And somebody says here, Aidan Pearson, this is a steal. He should be at a higher level, Mike Brown.
Oh, hell, he should be at a good level. Like, guys, I'm down my lake fishing and doing some work down here, putting a new bench in. But that's great news, isn't it? Let's be honest. It's, it clearly says that we're being taken over, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's, anybody says, there's still sort of people start to doubt, and even I was last night. But I think now, Paul Cook ain't going to come here under Evans' regime. There's no way. I can't see it. Do you know what I mean? So to me, it sounds like it sounds like we are going to be taken over by this American group. Like Lee said, we do need investment. Let's give him a good investment. We're not going to be like Man City and spend silly money, but let's get the right players in. And yeah, he's a good manager. He's got a good win percentage, and I think really that's a great. I was just busy working. I heard my phone go ding. I looked, and there was this. Oh, hang on a minute, what's going on here? So,
no, absolutely, and you're all right, Mike. Yeah, and you should be, because you're right. You should be managing at a high level. Now you say about investment, but right now he can't go and get any players. It doesn't matter how much he gets right now because the windows are shut. So what do you expect from Paul Cook's side from this point forward? I said 49 points and I was laughed at a couple of weeks ago. Suddenly, I'm looking rather confident.
Yeah,
It's
but that was
turning,
49 points under Lambert regime.
No. The club was getting 49 points.
Yeah.
You didn't specify.
Look, so good giving me them come to bed eyes. You know, I mean, you know, I mean, really, you know, in fairness, Martin, yeah, you know, now with the new management and stuff, yeah, I think, you know, maybe there's a good shout we could get promotion. I think it'll be via the playoffs if we do it. But again, playoffs are a bit of a lottery. If we end up in League One next year still, it's no big loss. I think, you know, it'll feel like it, but we were all expecting to be in this division again next season anyway. You know, so I think, look, I'm buzzing. I really am. You know, Paul Cook's not a stupid manager, and to get him at this level, there's something in the back burner, you know, and yeah, let's burn that poster.
Absolutely, Mike.
Poster on fire.
Well, then get donating, Mike. I love you, but the line's a bit crackly. Luke, come on. It's all right. It's lunchtime. I appreciate that. Talk to me.
Yeah, it's brilliant, isn't it?
Are you excited? What's your outlook now for the next set of games?
Well, he's not going to be in charge tonight, so we already know that. It's Matt Gill will be in charge tonight.
Hey.
So
I remember Steve McLaren not being in charge for Derby County. He suddenly was in charge.
yeah. Oh God.
If he's going to be there,
yeah,
he's going to be invested. You know what I mean?
He's going to have a say, isn't he, tonight?
I was going to say,
he's going to be in the stands.
It might be funny also, these players, they want to impress them, but you all know that the new manager bounce. And really, it's perfect sort of time. It's quite mad to think about it. We've been awful this season, yet we can still get promoted. That shows how rubbish this league really is.
Yeah,
like,
it does, without a shadow of a doubt.
We're 2 points off the playoffs, and we're not playing, not to expect, we're not playing anyone there where I say we are better than us, and we've got a new manager bounce. So really, this is the perfect time to come in. And even if we don't get in the playoffs, he's a championship manager. So next season is, let's be honest, the ownership is coming. It's a matter of when, not if now. And there's no reason why you can't go on next season and get promoted if we don't go out this year.
Steve, if I run these games off to you, you tell me how a manager of Paul Cook's ability doesn't get this team at least in the playoffs. After tonight, you've got Gillingham, Lincoln, Plymouth, Fleetwood, Portsmouth, Wigan, Bristol Rovers, Rochdale, MK Dons, AFC Wimbledon, Charlton, Northampton, AFC Wimbledon again, Swindon, Fleetwood and Shrewsbury. So the top teams you play there, in my opinion, are Lincoln, Plymouth, Portsmouth. Like, that is a great run-in for any new manager.
He has jumped in at the perfect time because he's got such a good run of games. There's only a few of them that are still above us in the league now, and we've finally discovered we can actually beat promotion rivals. So he has come in at a perfect time. If we don't get in the playoffs, I would be really surprised. Top two, I don't know.
No, I think top two is gone.
Yeah, I think that's a bit too, because it's what, 10 points now, is it?
10 points now.
Second? So something would have to go really well for us or really badly for them. But if he doesn't get in the playoffs, I'd be shocked.
Mm-hmm. And also, when you get in the playoffs is the lottery. It doesn't matter where you finish. If you finish sixth or fifth or third. Like, I think when QPR went up in the Championship a few years ago, they played Derby, won with an amazing team, and QPR won with the last kick of the game. The playoffs is a lottery. Anything can happen in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think going back to Crunch's point earlier about the formation that he plays, it's interesting that we've been playing that for the last couple of games, or not the last one, it's 4-4-2, but the one before that, and maybe the one before that. I think we played the 4-2-3-1, which is Cook's preferred system. So that sort of links for him as well. So the players have been playing well on that. So maybe that's a crest of a ride, wave that he can ride as well. That's his formation, isn't it? And we've got the players now to play that, providing everyone stays fit. I mean, he'll inject something into the club, but again, we've talked about this before. It's still the players as well, isn't it? The players have still got to go out there and do it, and you've still got to have your best players on the pitch. Yeah. Because if our best players aren't on the pitch, he's not a miracle worker, is he? He's
absolutely not. Yeah, Luke, I'll let you go. I appreciate you, buddy. Look after yourself. Stuart, I've got Ludog84. Cook wouldn't agree with that, knowing the full remit of his role. He must know the takeover is done. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it's just a matter of when now. This is step one done. It's just a matter of when.
And how? And as a Town fan that I imagine only ever had Marcus Evans as the owner, how does that make you feel?
Knowing that Cook's now our manager and knowing that the takeover is imminent, I am more buzzing by the minute as the minutes goes by. So I'm just more pumped up and ready to go as the minutes go by.
Steve, his backroom staff may or does consist of Noel Hunt and Gary Roberts.
Nice. I'll be up for that, definitely.
Yeah.
With him coming to us and turning down, the likes of the teams in the Championship, it sort of reminds me of like when Lewis Hamilton left McLaren to join Mercedes years ago. Everyone thought he was crazy because he was leaving a good team to go to a team that was pretty mediocre, pretty midfield, but he'd seen what was going on in the background and he knew what was coming. So it definitely sort of reminds me of that, because no way he'd be coming here if he knew it was going to stay under Evans' regime for longer. So,
no.
And the backroom stuff he's bringing, rumoured, doing pretty good. So
it does, yeah.
Exciting.
And I was talking to Freddie from Pompey News now, Stuart, and he said he plays a 4-2-3-1 possession style, and at times that upset fans because it was a bit patient, slow. Stop me if you've heard that before with Lambert's tactics, but it worked, and he never felt his team was going to lose, and he always really enjoyed the times he got to see his team play. When was the last time you really enjoyed seeing your team play?
The last time this is going way back now, about 14 years ago when it was the East Anglian Derby, when Magilton was in charge. That's the last time I enjoyed my team playing.
So hear a fan of Paul Cook say, look, I really enjoyed it. That must make you think, you know what, this is almost fairy. I can't believe I'm not dreaming here.
It's over the years as well. We've not seen the best football from previous managers. Obviously, Lambert's football wasn't particularly great. McCarthy's wasn't exactly the prettiest football, but with McCarthy's and things, it got us results. I don't really care if the football's pretty at the minute, as long as it gets us results and as long as we can enjoy it.
Absolutely. Lee, appreciate you, buddy. Josh, welcome in. How are you feeling about the appointment of Paul Cook, not Lee Cook?
I'm buzzing, to be honest. I think it's a really good appointment. And I think it shows that the takeover may happen this week. Who knows? Maybe next week.
Well, I mean, that is leaving your options open there, Josh. You're certainly not committing to the plan. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I can't imagine, Steve, that Cook would even entertain the idea of taking on a job that he thought he might be a caretaker in.
No, not at all. I think if he went to Cardiff, he's got a good chance, I suppose, of doing what McCarthy's doing now with them. If he went to Sheffield Wednesday, he's got a good chance of keeping them up, looking like a bit of a hero. But he's come down to a lower league because he must know that something's going on behind the scenes here and that it's imminent. It's not going to be months, end of the season, whenever. It will be in the coming weeks.
Josh, I've seen some comments in the chat that started you mean to go on. We're going to absolutely drub Stanley tonight. What do you think we'll see moving forward from this side and from Paul Cook?
I think, tonight, to be fair, I've said, me and Stuart had I think we're going to win tonight because, now, especially now Paul Cook's in, because, they need to impress him, don't they? To show him that they can play and show him they need to stay for next season. So I reckon tonight we'll get a win, hopefully good performance to show Paul Cook that they want to play for the shirt and want to keep their place in the team.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and with the new manager, you know the run of games we've got coming up. What sort of points return are you now expecting? What is your expectation now as a Town fan with Paul Cook in charge? With
the run in, a good chance we'll get top 6 now with the run in. Really, I think there's only Lincoln and Portsmouth really that are going to be a threat to us. Other than that, should be beating the other teams, really, getting playoffs.
Stuart, is a top 6 finish just a little bit under optimistic? We've got Paul Cook, got a decent squad, I keep hearing, a really favourable run-in. Surely it's top 3. Like, why is that out of the dream? Why is that not being spoken about?
Well, I'm with Paul Cook now as our manager. I'm now seeing top 3, at least top 3, at least. We're about 2 points off the first. It's just because we've been playing like a 4-3-2-1 before Cook come in, and that's his style of play. Now we've got Cook in, and now we play on the 4-3-2-1. So we need. It's sort of like it fits perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely. And,
It's sort of like match made in heaven.
You're 10 points, Steve, behind second place Lincoln, game in hand. You play them, right? So if let's say you win both those, suddenly it looks a little bit better. Like,
Absolutely.
why is the top two out of the conversation?
If you look at it now, just looking at the table now, 10 points, it sounds a lot, but like you say, if you've got a game in hand, and if you do beat those teams, or like, if you do beat Lincoln, then it does open up. I'm going to be cautious, and I'm going to go for a top 6. I think that's still definitely on the cards, and I'm going to say
in the top six?
Third or fourth. I'm going to say top 2 is a little bit out of reach, unless things go really badly for them, and unless we really do get on a winning bounce, which anything is possible right now. So I'm going to play it safe and say third or fourth.
Facebook user asks, will we see Jackson and Nolan back in the frame, or have the rest of the squad turned against them with that attitude as we've turned a corner with them out the scene, but Nolan on his day as our best player? Do you think we'll see Nolan and Jackson tonight, Steve?
No. I think I can imagine them playing or training again, with the first team squad again now. I think tonight is a little too soon, but Cook is taking training, I think I saw on Thursday for the first time with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely got potential to at least be on the bench for Saturday's game. But I can't see them being involved tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm seeing a lot of comments in the squad in the chat, Steve, about same squad. But I've also heard a lot of comments from the fans saying this squad is better than what the previous manager was getting out of them. So, is it now time the players stepped up and show actually we are better than what we were putting out under Paul Lambert, and we'll start playing for Paul Cook?
Well, there's a lot of a few players that we've got that I haven't really seen too much of. I mean, I think a prime example that sticks out for me is Emir Hughes. He obviously had this big rave about him, and he's done nothing really. So he's now got the chance to prove that he can do it and he can get back to his old self. And if he wants to either get a contract extension, because I think he's one of the ones in his last year, isn't he? So he either wants to extend his contract.
Like that.
Yeah, and there's a lot of players out there now who, they weren't playing under their best under Lambert. They can now prove they've got what it takes to cook and get that first 11 spot.
Absolutely. Russell Clayton, welcome in. Has anyone told Leo Neal yet? Good appointment. Yeah, yesterday you said, yesterday it's all full of we'll take our time. And tell you what, though, I would like Leo Neal now to come out and say takeover's off. Because I can guarantee if he does, the opposite will bloody happen. Like, how out of the loop was he yesterday? What was all that about yesterday, Steve? Come on, like you've said, take the time, and then 24 hours later, here we are.
He is the master of bullshit, isn't he? He comes out. I don't know if anyone believes a word he says now, because he was coming out yesterday and said, there's no offers on the table, or whenever it was, no offers on the table. We're going to take our time with this managerial appointment. We know there's offers on the table. We've got a new manager. So I don't know what he thinks he's feeding the supporters and feeding the fans, but they can't be buying it.
Josh, what do you think about Leo Neal? Oliver Moy says Leo Neal is an idiot. Get him out. What do you think? What are your feelings about Leo Neal?
I agree. I think he's full of crap. I mean, yesterday he said, "I will take our time appointing." Evans is looking; he'll take his time. Next day, Paul Cook comes in, and then Leo Neal says, "There's no offers." Watch in 2 days' time, the takeover will get announced, and then Leo Neal will look an absolute twat.
Fair point. Josh, appreciate you. Stuart, appreciate you. Steve, we're on tonight, obviously, with the match day ticket. Daniel Barnard says, Gov, this is becoming a regular now. You better start building your outshed for you to live in. Yeah, my son is currently on his nap. So if he wakes up, we end the party, pretty much, because he comes first. Ben Moore, Leo Milne, Google user. What can he say, really? But do you buy into that, Steve? What can he say, really?
I don't know. I mean, I think that the fact of it is that we know there's something going on, and I think it would be better received if it actually came from the owner himself, rather than him sending out, his little buddy to do it for him. He's just doing what he's told, but unfortunately, it makes him just seem like a massive idiot because no one actually believes a word he's saying. Yes, Marcus is probably saying to him, right, go out and just tell him this. And obviously, Leo Neal takes the flak for it. But I don't know.
You see, he doesn't have to say anything though. Like I'm seeing lots of NDAs, which he won't have signed. He's an employer. He's not the owner of the business. As Matt said last night on the podcast, perhaps he doesn't know because Marcus doesn't have to tell him, or perhaps he's just fibbing. Either one's okay. But if Evans has told Lee O'Neill, we're taking our time, Lee, why are you sending your employees out, employees out, sorry, with statements that you factually know are not correct? Like you must have been speaking to Paul Cook. You don't just suddenly wake up on a Tuesday morning and go over your morning coffee, I don't know what, I fancy Paul Cook as manager. I wonder what he's up to.
Yeah, give him a call, just like that. It's even if Lee came out and said the similar things to what Lambert said after Saturday's game, was just talk to Marcus, ask Marcus, speak to Marcus. I don't know. Obviously, we knew Lambert knew what was going on, but at least it deflects some of the fire from him. I think Lee O'Neill's probably better off just saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do you truly expect from not really from this evening, but Gillingham's the first test for Paul Cook. It's Blakey says communication is clearly Evans' downfall. Well, it absolutely is. Mark Bliss, Evans sits in his office with a white cap, with a white cat in his lap. Luke Penny and Brett Johnson's Barmy Army. I think I've got Kate Riley coming on, which is fantastic. It says device is not connected. I'm going to wait and see if Kate appears. That would be really good to get her input into the show. Luke Penny, takeover talks been going on for 6 months, kept that on the down low, probably same with Cook. Yeah, but then why send somebody out to look an absolute fool? I feel for Lee O'Neill. You know, if I send you out, Steve, and say, I'll let them all the match day tickets off tonight, and then 5 minutes later I announce it's on, you look an absolute
a bit
clown.
of an idiot. Because I've come out and said, no, it's fine. So, Lee O'Neill now looks like such an idiot because he's going, we'll take our time. We're not going to rush into anything. And, okay, 24 hours later, you've got a new manager all signed up and a takeover's around the corner. So he just looks catastrophically stupid.
Absolutely. Now, you watched the show last night. What were your takeaway thoughts from a really interesting, insightful interview with Matt from The Athletic?
It was brilliant. I was watching it this morning over my morning coffee and cornflakes. Really good, really good. I could listen to him talk for hours. It was brilliant. Very interesting insight into sort of how the Americans would do things regarding how they've done already with existing clubs like Burnley and that sort of thing. Comparing our situation to the likes of Sunderland and Hull. Obviously, when you get potential buyers looking at both clubs or all the clubs and what would be the sort of the better choice, it's nice that we sort of came out on top of that. So it was really good to listen to him and sort of get a different perspective and sort of almost an inside view.
Yeah, absolutely. Aidan Pearson, good point. From listening to Lambert on Saturday after the game, where I think he mentioned Cook without even prompt, as in nobody's put Cook in his mouth. Cook has known he's going to have the job for over a week. Daniel Barnard this morning, come on, lol. Sorry, I've got computer just froze there. Ben Moore, Brett Johnson. Yeah, Brett Johnson. It does happen sometimes, you know. Sometimes it does happen. Brett Moore, Brett Johnson to sign Jordan Rhodes would be the dream. Jack Warboys, it's a simple case of the ITFC pressed him having a stinker as usual. They've been good at statements. Just look back at Evans. And that's really the overriding feeling about the Marcus Evans regime, isn't it? That it's just lack of communication right down to a T.
And they're treating the fans like children as well.
Oh. Well, yeah, that's the standard.
Yeah, be careful what you wish for thing. No need.
No, whoever wrote that for him didn't look into the history of be careful what you wish for. No. So, as I said in the show, Paul Cook can't go and will and deal. Right, the window's shut. So even if Brett Johnson takes over tomorrow and we've got billions of pounds pouring into the club, millions, billions, pennies, whatever, he can't go and use that yet. So, how important, for the first time in a long time, is this next 3 months for a football club like Ipswich? Because you've got two ways this narrative can go now. Promotion, takeover, dream. Stagnation, takeover falls through, then what?
It's tricky, isn't it? Because if you come to the first situation, even if it's just stay in League One, don't get promoted, takeover happens, you've still got next year to build. But these are really important few months because Cook can't do anything. He's got what's left of Hurst's squad and Lambert's as well, of course, which they now need to prove that how they can play, how well they can play. If the takeover then goes through, there's a lot of important decisions to be made in the summer regarding contracts, everything like that. You can either keep these players who've been doing an okay job, or you can invest and you can build for the future. Or stagnation, takeover falls through, and Cook's got to do the best with what he can.
We've got Farmer Giles back. Here he is.
I'm back.
Tell us. Talk to us. The narrative can go either way. The narrative can go either way right now, can't it?
What, with the manager or the takeover?
With everything. I've never experienced a bigger few months for this football club.
I know what you just said about the players have to step up, and they do. Because I've bigged them up and said they should be doing better under the last manager, which they weren't. They've suddenly woke up the last 2 games. So now it's a chance for them. A lot of them are going to think, I'm going to be out the door if I'm not careful. So they are. They're going to be out the door. They're on the breadline. So time to pull up your socks.
I was laughing at you, checking behind your shoulder in case your manager's coming around the corner.
I think he's gone now.
Management.
I'm going to be watching.
But you're right, though. No, you are spot on. And can you remember a time as a Town fan when the next 2 months suddenly looked as because all we've heard all season, Crunch, is how big this season is. We need to get out of this division. You can do that, but B, you can do that with investment and new ideas and a new era.
I think if anyone has said this to us about 2 months ago, we'd have a new manager, we'd have new owners, we would have all laughed, wouldn't we? We would have said, you're living in an absolute dream. But I have said before, Martin, in football, things do have a habit of they can turn around very quickly. So if you get the right people in the right roles, it is possible. You know, I know at the minute we're 8th in the 3rd division. You know, we got the right manager, hopefully. For me, he's a very good manager at the level we're at the minute. He could be a very good manager in the championship. But we need to. I know you're getting a little bit excited. I've just got to bring you back down to earth because
you can't.
We are where we are at the minute. And I don't want anybody on here at the end of the season moaning if we fail to get out of this division and we fail to get in the playoffs.
No. I've had flack for months for supporting the previous manager, saying how people telling me how great this squad was, how it's undercoached, how it's poorly tactic, blah blah blah. You can't tell me Paul Cook's a fantastic guy on this hand, and then say, but if we don't make the top 6 in the 3rd tier, then it's not a catastrophic failure. A top 6 is a minimum now for me, a minimum.
It won't be a catastrophic failure for the manager, I don't think.
Well, not for him, no, but for the fans, it will be.
I agree with the fisherman. If we're still in this league next season, it's not a disaster. It isn't, because you've got to get the building blocks into play. Whatever
top 6 finish. You said we don't make the top 6.
I think we will make the top 6. When you were running them fixtures off there, is there anything to fit? Should we really be fearing? I know, look, Accrington tonight, Gillingham Saturday. Should we really be fearing next Tuesday we're playing Lincoln? Where are they? 2nd in the league. We're Ipswich Town. Should we really be fearing playing Lincoln at Portman Road?
Of course.
No. A few weeks ago, I was with old Lambert in charge. A few weeks ago, I was fearing almost every team we had to play, and it shouldn't be that way. But now, especially after beating Doncaster as well, I'll get rid of that.
Yeah, make the most of that.
Yeah, especially after
you're spending with him.
The two most recent games have sort of turned my opinion. There's no reason we need to fear anyone in this league at all.
Look, as I said, Crunch, earlier, we're on 47 points. Lincoln's on 57. Game in hand on Lincoln, and we play Lincoln. Why are people not telling me a top 2 finish is achievable?
I don't think we'll be top 2, honestly.
Why? We've got the easiest run in we could possibly have.
Yeah, but football's not played on paper. If we look at the fixtures, it looks easy. You're 49 points, though. If we get to 85 points, which is where we will finish, we will be very close to 2nd. We will be very close if we missed out. What we got? 17 games. What we got now? How many points you say?
47.
So 17 games, 2 points a game. Yeah.
How many wins do you think you actually need for a top 2 finish?
Top 2. Well, Stuart Watson the other day, I think that was before Saturday. He said 10 wins to make the playoffs.
Okay. All right. So we've got, so that would be on 24 wins, right? So you want a minimum 10 wins out of any of these games. Now you tell me, you stop me when you think you're not going to beat a team. We'll ignore Stanley tonight. Gillingham.
What points are we on?
47. All right.
10
so
wins.
Stop. Yeah. So Gillingham, Lincoln.
Tough place to go, Gillingham. Don't, because they've got Matt's main man up front, John Akinde.
With a new manager.
Oh, you should go there and beat him, but I think that'll be a tough game. That'll be a tough game down there. They're not a bad side.
Plymouth. At
Got to
home.
be 3 points. You got to win your home game.
Fleetwood, Portsmouth, Wigan, Bristol Rovers, Rochdale. It is like the who's who at the bottom 6 of League One. If we can't be a top 4 side come May, something's gone horribly wrong.
Them names are not in the higher echelons of English football, are they? When you're reeling them names off. No,
even with Lambert, people would have expected a top 6, possibly a top 4, particularly after the recent upturn in form. Like, I just don't understand why my fan base has suddenly gone negative. You've all been telling me all year we're this, that, and the other. Now's the time to believe it.
I think it's football fans in general, and it's Steve. I think you're always a little bit. As Ipswich Town fans, we're always a bit pessimistic. We're always thinking.
It's
thinking
ingrained into you, isn't it?
Yeah.
Being a Town fan is ingrained to be negative now. I can't get carried away. I can't get too positive. I've gotten used to the disappointment.
Absolutely. Ben Moore, Portsmouth and Lincoln, for me, we could struggle. That Lincoln game is a huge game because you go into it possibly with Stanley and Gillingham if you win both those games.
Did you get me a message about the Lincoln game?
No, I didn't. What was that?
Well, I think Paul Cook's first home game, we really should be doing, Martin, a watch-along. Come on, get it on.
Okay. You get me some high caliber guests, as I know you can, and I'll do a watch-along. 100%.
I'm going to message Kate Riley. Fancy staying up and coming on and watching the game in Singapore.
Poor
what time
Kate.
What time will it be over there?
Early.
9 hours ahead. Yeah, probably.
Ips Blakey, 12 years of negativity. What do you expect? Well, this is it. The dream is on. A new dawn awaits us, both in terms of a manager and possibly an owner. Jacob Farrow, as Russell Osmond tweeted a second ago, this is the first step of reincarnation. Hopefully, the second step will be done soon. Absolutely. Well, I think we're going to leave it there. Pick this back up in a couple of hours with the match day ticket. 6:30 we go live. Myself, Steve, and Mr. Positivity. Even he can't bring us down tonight. Surely.
Even he'll smile.
Even he will smile. I'm thoroughly excited. Mark Dowling, 100% positive now that Lambert is gone. I expect those players to prove they're amongst the best in the league. 100 points, 100 goals. Sorry, Facebook user, that's actually mathematically impossible now. 93 points maybe, or 94, or in the 90s you could go with. 100 goals. I don't know. Let's get a striker above 4 first. Aidan Pearson, second place last year, 62 points. Win all of our games. That's 42 points. That's us. See, Aidan's believing. I like Aidan. I love him. He's new to the chat. Very positive. I like positive people. Lee Anderson's too positive. James Warner, Elmer, I'm with you, Gov. Let's believe. Lewis Hancock, get King Kelly on the pit. Sort him right out. Absolutely. Crunch.
Can't play in a cap. Not allowed to play in a cap.
Are you not?
No, I don't think so.
Johnny Duncan, there should be no negativity now. If you had said this last week, you'd have snapped hands off. Takeover with Emmy is gone.
Can you? What did Derek Bowden say when he came in? Derek Bowden, Europe within 5 years.
Champions League within 5 years.
Yeah, maybe Europa League. We'll settle for the Europa to start with. Yeah,
I'll say that.
I'd settle for a championship away fixture at this point in time. But let's go. I'm believing. Right, 6:30. We're live. Match day ticket. The only place to be. Cruncher, Steve, Josh, Stuart, Lee. All of that's been on.
Don't forget to donate. Don't forget, go over to @theCruncher76. Just Giving and the poster gets it tonight.
Please don't take my poster away from me.
You how are you going to do it out in the garden? Because obviously you can't burn it inside, can you? We don't want any accidents.
I'd have to ask the fire officer, my wife, because she's the sensible one out of the two of us. So she'll know. She's been planning on burning it for a while, so she'll be ecstatic. Make room for the new Lambert Out banner we're buying, apparently.
Yeah, I see that. That's for sale. That's massive. Gee, that could cover that wall behind you.
Alex is right. It's time to get It's time to get a Lee Cook poster, a Paul Cook poster, and a Lee Cook poster.
You still can't fucking get it right.
I can't. Right, tonight, 6:30. With love, with care. The Town are on the up. The Phoenix is rising.
The Town are going up.